All right, recording. All right, so what are we going to watch here, basically? Can you tell me a bit beforehand?
We are gonna watch my attempt at Sombra in scrims. This is after we have talked a bit about Sombra, but I haven't like fully like introduced my team to uh like the perfect style to play or like how to play with Sombra properly. So it's I think it's me focusing way more on like my personal what do you call it, like personal skill on Sombra rather than our team. But I want to figure out how to like use Sombra more as a team character because I think Sombra isn't like strong enough on her own. I think she has to have her team and like work with her team.
It's a team booster. Like this here is a team
Exactly.
booster, basically. Yeah. So like the better you can enable, more like team enabler rather than team booster. It's a team enabler
Yeah,
on its own.
exactly.
All right, I'm going to keep the sound really quiet of the VOD because I want to
Yeah.
hear what you are going to say.
You let minder
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
No.
All right.
Right. Do you have the Q link?
Come on.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Actually, I didn't send it
No
for
worries.
some reason.
There we go.
All right.
Wait, continue with Discord.
Oh, you need to register?
I think so. Wait, we did this, I think.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
And it's the wrong account as well. Nice. Well, let's check.
It's all right though.
All right. Uh. There we go. Okay, I'm in.
All right, I see you. Okay. Let's go for this.
Yeah, they're going DPS. They're probably scouting as well.
Like the mini below us, please.
Yeah, I'll do it later.
Imagine going DPS like an absolute fucking
I'm just
bait.
mirroring the habit here. Wait, Sombra's here as well. She's gonna hack you guys. Hammond is
All
on
right,
me
this
again.
is interesting.
They're all going.
They're all going right side. Except for Farah? Question mark?
So I want to hack the Hammond, and then I see the Sombra, and I go out. So I want to stop the Hammond from engaging, and let's say I would hack him right where he's at, before he like charges up. The Bastion would like stomp him easily. So that's my thought process.
All right. First of all, that is something that when you play this comp, which one or what do you think your role is right now?
Scouting, and the moment I realized they had Sombra, I want to think that I should somewhat like mirror her and stop her. Maybe like reduce her space. If not, I would peel, either hack the Hammond or yeah, basically hack the Hammond or annoy the backline, the healers.
I'm going to give you another perspective. In this, just forget about your pick, all right? In this team,
Yeah.
what do you think
Stay behind Orisa.
it's lacking?
Huh? It's
What do you think this lineup lacks right now?
movement.
Besides mobility, yeah, besides mobility.
Uh,
There is something that is really key that a
space.
lot of it's
Like
kind of related, yeah.
map control.
Map control. The space map control. Basically, what you lack is point control.
Yeah.
Which means that if you have no point control in this 5-man lineup, who do you think is going to be around point?
I guess it'll have to be me.
No.
No?
It's going
Okay,
to be
the
it's going to
hog.
be the hog.
Right.
It's going to be the off tank. Usually, for example,
The diva.
This comp usually switches hog for diva here.
Right.
Right.
Wait, can you break it down why you would like what's the choice between like Rodig and Diva?
I mean,
Like,
obviously
would
with Roadhog you have way more synergies, right? You have the hook, you have the zone control. Usually, what Hog does in this comp, Hog doesn't play behind Orisa's shield.
Okay.
Right? What Hog does is basically establish another, because with Orisa, with Bastion, with Baptiste, and with Mercy, you have plenty of room control. Let's say, hey, where the room I do the setup, this is
Yeah.
pretty much the control I have.
Okay.
With Hog is an independent hero. So basically,
Okay.
with Hog, if let's say that apply to this map, let's say that you take top of Cafe, right?
Yeah.
What Hog will do will be playing around Cafe, or even on the left flank, right on the tiny alley,
Yeah.
by himself,
Okay.
preventing your team from being wrapped around, right?
Okay.
Hog is an extreme, really 1v1er or even 1v2er. So
Yeah.
he basically allows by himself, like playing isolated. What's the problem? The problem is, and this is where I wanted to go. The problem is the Sombra.
Right.
Whenever you play
Because the
against
Sombra can annoy him, or like.
exactly,
All right. Okay.
whenever you face a Sombra, you cannot play isolated,
Yeah.
right? Because you are risking getting hacked and getting
Yeah.
killed,
Yeah.
right? So you have a problem right now, and the problem
Mhm.
right now is that the guy that's supposed to contest the point cannot contest it because of the Sombra, and you
Yeah.
really don't have a point contester.
Yeah.
This means that you have two options: play passive, which is in my opinion is not recommended, because since you're facing Sombra, right?
Yeah.
You are going to give up so much map control, which means that you're
Yeah.
going to play Sombra reactively, which means that it's not really the best thing, because
Yeah. It's not beneficial for Sombra.
exactly you're not going to deal like if you hack the Hammond before he engages, nobody's going to be following up, and you are risking getting hacked by the other Sombra.
Yeah.
So you are in a really, really rough spot right now in order to get value out of your pick. What you want to do is, let's say, hey, I cannot do anything here,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to do something in their backline.
Yeah.
And this gives me the first problem. The first problem is that you tunnel vision super hard. You
Yeah.
watch this,
Mm-hmm.
and you keep walking, and you keep looking at
Yeah,
this.
they're going DPS.
Yeah. I noticed that as well. Like I'm not turning around. I
Like the
could
mini
be.
below us.
I didn't scout their entire comp even.
Exactly. You don't even know what you are facing right now.
No. I see the Sombra translocator there, and I'm like, okay.
Wait, Sombra is here as well.
Like,
She's gonna hack you guys.
I know they have a Pharah now because, I've obviously
Diamond is
played
up,
this,
okay.
but it could be like disrupting Pharah as well.
You don't. I mean, you for example, you don't even know what the second support is.
Yeah, exactly. See, yeah.
Like one of the
I'm tunnel visioning
one of the
somewhere.
weaknesses of the triple DPS is that you force the Mercy to choose. Like, hey, I
Yeah.
have target number 1, which is my Pharah, and I have
Mhm.
target number 2, which is let's say Zenyatta. The
Yeah.
enemy Sombra, which is you, is on my Zen. The Bastion is on my Pharah. So as a
Yeah.
Mercy, who do I pick, right?
Mhm.
And there is no good solution to this, because if you want the Pharah to be effective, the Pharah needs to be shooting. If she's getting zoned, there you go. And against the Zen, usually for Mercy players, there is no enough reaction time to reach the Zen.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going to proc the rest. Right? You proc the rest. If you go for the Zen, you're going to proc the rest, which
Yeah.
is something that you really can play around.
Yeah.
So right now you have a problem. You have a problem, which is you're playing bunker, and you're right below bunker, exposed to the enemy comp. See, if
Yeah.
they have a Widowmaker, you probably are dead right now.
Yeah.
Burn, boys.
Most likely.
Shoot the cement.
Sombra is under us.
Sombra's right side. I have no shield.
See, I'm the point presence now.
And nobody's giving a fuck about you. They don't even
No.
realize that you are there.
Race is at target square.
So that's really good for you. But you are like basically the thing about this is there you go, the hog. The thing about this is you are exposing yourself too much.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this worked out is not because you played it correctly. It's because they didn't realize that you were there.
Yeah.
Right? Because the moment you go into the point and you go for that hack right there, if the enemy Sombra hacks you and Tracer goes on you, you are there.
Yeah. I'm done. And the Pharah as well.
So there is no other,
I fed. That's
I thought Aaron's up there.
It's a stoning ult for it.
That's a son. See, they're scared. They're go away.
Sombra's
I can
close to B. Sombra's close to B.
watch
Heaven.
out.
Oops.
Somebody's behind us.
I couldn't hook her.
She's out again.
Ah, shit, shield's broken, bro.
So this is quad DPS, right?
Shield up.
Yeah.
The balls.
There is only one. So one thing that you are not doing, right? It's basically when if you go for these hacks, you are in the middle of everywhere. Like
Yeah.
if you have no support, you have nobody to go on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can play around the Hammond. Playing around the Hammond
Yeah.
is actually really good in this scenario because there is no send that you can farm. There is
Yeah.
nothing. So going around the Hammond is extremely good. To do so, you cannot play the exposed.
Yeah.
You need to
See,
say-
I see something right now. Right across where the bunkers are. If I'm just high ground there, I've both like way too much. I have a lot of vision. I'm not like in the middle of everyone, and I can clearly see and disrupt the Hammond.
And you can do something that is really cool too. That is you can act like as a ward. For example,
Yeah.
let's say that this is where the bunker is. Sorry, yeah. These are the stairs, etc. This is the door, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that you can do is to play obviously low ground, but play around this area.
Right.
How can you do this? Because what is their winning condition? The winning condition, the macro winning condition for them is to wrap you around, to establish crossfire, right?
Yeah.
So the bunker cannot shield all of this. If they are all shooting like this, if the tracer is shooting from in front, far the same thing, they are going to be shooting at a shield forever.
Yeah.
So what they need to do is, in order to get this broken, they need to either wait for a mistake or try to sneak or boob you or do something. Which means that if you play around the stairs and hey, you see the Hammond going for the pile driver, boom, hack. You see the tracer coming from behind, boom, hack.
Yeah.
This is going to allow your hawk to actually be way more free around the point.
But am I not then playing too reactive?
You're playing too reactive, but the problem is that you cannot establish good 1v1s.
Oh yeah, like I can't be aggressive, so the only option is
the problem here is that it's not about your pick, it's about your pick that is playing with what. If you were playing right for example with I don't know, floats or goats,
yeah.
you can play differently. Why? Because you can establish something, force the mercy on you, and then the rest of your team, for example, the diva, capitalizes on someone else.
Yeah.
For example, you go on the whatever tracer, or you force the mercy on you, on your target, and then diva goes on Pharah and kills Pharah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Right.
But the problem is that you're going to establish a 1v1 against a comp that is super versatile, which means that whoever you target, Mercy is going to be on the target, but no one from your team is going to support you on another target.
Oh right.
Because they are super stationary.
Yeah.
Which means that you're not going to capitalize on that, which means that every single time you uncloak aggressively is going to be a risk.
Yeah.
If you are able to hack and kill the Mercy, for sure, but since there is a Pharah, that's a no-go. This means that you need to still be active or still be useful by denying their macro condition. And the macro condition is, again, wrap you around.
Yeah.
And if you're able to say, hey, like it's so valuable for a team to say, hey, don't even bother looking right or looking left because I'm there. If something happens left, I'm going to tell you so. That's
exactly.
That's what being a war means.
Yeah.
Because again, against this, for example, against this comp, it's way more important to play the chess correctly than that you get EMP.
Yeah.
Because even if you get EMP, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, nothing.
Right? So the most important part is, hey, Bastion, Orisa, Baptiste, don't worry about left, because if something goes through left, I'm going to tell you so.
Yeah.
This is insanely good because that basically tells Orisa how to put the barrier.
Exactly. She can change
exactly
to
maximize the value. Because if my Sombra says, hey, I should forget about left, right? I can orientate my barrier way more into the right, so I can cover more space.
It changes everything.
right? And
It's like denying at least one like
exactly. And since you are playing around Hollywood, which means that since from the defensive perspective, the left flank is open, but the right one is super close.
yeah.
You are denying the left one. This means that you're effectively funneling the enemy team through main, which means that your Bastion, your Orisa, and your Hawk are going to gain insane value.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. The funny thing about this is you can even not shoot a bullet in the entire round and still win it by stomping them.
Yeah, exactly. It's yeah.
Because you are basically controlling 75% of their access to the cafe.
I'm forcing them into a very like bad like position for their comp.
And the thing here is, for example, let's say that Tracer goes through left, right? Tracer goes like this. Let's say that they are super smart, and hey, what we are going to do is they know that you are around here, so Tracer is going to force you with Sombra. So Tracer is going to be like this, you uncloak, you hack the Sombra, and this Sombra hacks you.
Yeah.
Right? You still have the hog.
Exactly.
The hog is roaming around, right? So the hog is, even if you get hacked and you get in a 1v2 situation, you still are close to the mini pack, and you still are close to the Roadhog that is basically a powerhouse in those kind of situations. That can 2v1 actually those guys.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the Tracer is going to be hacked by you,
and
right?
Useless.
And well, basically she's going to run as soon as as soon as they hear the Roadhog, they should be able to run.
Yeah.
That's the macro condition or the macro movement that you should be doing is this one. Every single thing that you get to do outside of this is putting your life in danger.
Yeah.
And the problem is, and this is extremely important. For example, this Tracer, I don't know what Tracer is doing here. But the problem is, if Tracer is playing around the left and you uncloak here, this is extremely valuable for them. Why? Because first of all, they know where you are. But second of all, they know that you are not here. So this Tracer can progress.
Yeah, she doesn't need to like watch out for me or try to actively avoid me or something.
It's basically saying, usually when you go as Tracer here, you always look to pay a toll here. In terms of resources, blinks, even, recalling. But if you know, hey, the only guy that can be looking for me here, I mean, there are two guys, Roadhog and Sombra, but I know Sombra is here. So I only need to care about the Roadhog. If this is Sombra plus Tracer, then they can establish a 2v1 on the Roadhog.
So would you say, like, in this bunker scenario against triple or it's quad even, isn't it? Yeah, so when I don't, like, let's say, when I know that they don't have a Sen or a target in the backline that I can't harass, I should, like, look for that opportunity. I should always, like, see their comp and figure out if I have to play aggressively or proactively.
Yes. Basically, if you're playing against something like this, with extreme flank control, this is basically a statement of intentions. Like, they play in Sombra Tracer, they want to, obviously they want the EMP, but they want this versatility, they want to establish a multiple vector dive.
Yeah.
To support the ball. If you're able to deny that with your positioning, you're not only denying the flank control, you're also denying something important, which is that ball going to commit knowing that the half of his team is not able to follow?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, that's fine for you, because the macro, the EMP, the enemy EMP, that's something that you need to be worrying about. You are effectively denying it just by positioning that way.
Yeah.
Because that Sombra cannot uncloak. Right now, as a defender, you don't need to create anything. There is no need for you to create anything at all.
Yeah.
Because there is no exploit that you can, or there is no pick that you can exploit, or there is nothing that you can exploit.
Yeah, okay. See, at that point, I'm thinking that I should, like, completely ruin the Hammond. That's my thought process right there.
But you can ruin the Hammond in front of him, or you can ruin the Hammond from a position where you are, from a backline position, from a flank position. Because if you're playing around the backline in Cafe, and hey, Hammond is engaging,
Yeah.
First of all, it's not about ruining the Hammond. There is, I mean, you can ruin the Hammond directly, which means I'm going to hack the Hammond,
Yeah, or indirectly
or
by fucking
indirectly,
up his
I'm going to
spec.
fuck the
Yeah,
follow-up from on the Hammond,
exactly. Yeah.
and it's way more valuable. Yes, he's going to have mines, sure. Yeah, whatever. We don't give a crap about mines.
Yeah.
The important thing is, hey, we don't want the EMP. We don't want the pulse bomb there. We don't want, etc., etc. We don't want the crossfire. We don't want to turn around and say, hey, we need to deal with far in front, with Tracer below, with Sombra behind. That's what you want. And basically, you putting yourself as a ward, as a human ward, that's basically what you're achieving. And you are
Damn, that's interesting.
with all your positioning, you're basically shutting down the entire comp.
That's so weird. Like the team, like how the game changes when it's like a team game and like the traditional I kill you first, I win, you know? Like
Yeah.
just being a ward and like you said, like not shooting a single
That's
shot.
something that Sombra enables that not a lot of people are exploiting right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, hey, I'm Sombra, I'm on offense, right?
I
But
must hack.
I must do something. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you are doing something. Like you are basically like, you know, in defense, a lot of problems on the defense side comes from the defenders trying to create something.
Yeah.
For example, in this scenario, you are risking yourself a lot,
Yeah, I am.
right? Because
And I'm not getting any value out of it.
you're not
either.
getting absolute any. Like right now, if
No.
you recall and you fall into the enemy Sombra, what are you going to do?
Die.
Exactly.
I mean, they could have killed me like at least 2 or 3 times if they just tried.
Maybe they don't even expect that you do this. Maybe they
Yeah,
don't even.
maybe I'm playing the bigger game. The you have no clue what I'm doing. I'm outplaying you.
Or no, I don't think so. Maybe they are
No,
just.
I'm just kidding.
I think honestly they are just setting up for the thing.
I don't think they want to pay attention to me. They
Yeah,
just want
exactly.
to focus on the EMP or something.
The boss under the
Someone point as well.
Realize the amount of damage you are taking.
Yeah,
Careful,
it's dumb.
Someone get behind the ship.
Pulling on point.
Place that.
For example, there is an Ash that you never even seen.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
Till
Actually.
I mean, I didn't realize till now that they have an Ash. Ash
Yeah, I
Ash,
thought of the Bob. I was like, whoa.
Ash, for example,
What's that?
is a hero that you can harass.
Yes, that's what I was thinking earlier when I said like if I can't find a target because I didn't realize that Ash because I could have punished that.
Yeah, basically. But the thing here is, even with the Ash on the
Yeah.
board, covering the side of the map is extremely good.
Yeah, but then again, so okay, if I'm gonna test my understanding, so what if the enemy team isn't that smart and they always like tunnel vision on keeping the Ash alive? Then I'm doing like a big thing by just ruining the Ash or like drawing her attention.
What do you,
If the enemy team like so this is like below tier 3, right? And people and like people's understanding of the game isn't that grand. So let's say that they're refusing to like commit to the engage because they know that the Ash is occupied, and let's say the Mercy is staying on Ash all the time, etc. So potentially I am disrupting their entire team by drawing attention on the Ash.
But then again, that's riskier.
Yeah, that's true.
That's because every single time that you uncloak without support into another Sombra, that's a risk.
Okay.
Like the thing here is you have multiple options to do. Again, like playing Overwatch is not about only one thing to do. There are multiple options that are, I won't say correct, but are not bad.
Yeah.
Like right now, obviously, one thing that you can do is try to go for the Tracer and establish a 1v1. Good,
Yeah.
but risky. Try to go for the Sniper and try to kill her instantly. Good, but also risk. Well, like, what are you going to do? Like, you're risking your life against a team that has a res.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good, but still, it's not as good because the trade-off is if it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
It's like high
acceptable.
risk, low reward.
if you have Winston, if you have Zarya, if you have Brick, if you have Floats or Goats, for sure,
Yeah.
because that's not you alone. That's your team. You're going to play or you're going to set up a team play.
Yeah.
But right now,
Right.
it's between your solo queue Sombra against a coordinated team that has comms,
Mhm.
and it's really risky for you to uncloak in an unknown situation. Because
I don't think I've ever thought of like uncloaking as such a risk.
Because you usually don't play like Sombras. Sombras don't usually play like this, right? But there is something like if you want to make the correct decision,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's or the correct or the more correct decision
Yeah.
is it's only about what risk am I going to face.
Yeah.
If I'm going to uncloak around the Ash, I'm going to just But what happens if the Sombra? Maybe the Sombra is not even looking for you. Maybe
Yeah.
the Sombra just recall, and it happens to recall right behind you as you uncloak,
Yeah.
and you get hacked, and you die. What's your normal behavior, or what's your normal reasoning against that? Whoa, that was bad luck.
No.
No. I mean, usually people say this, and
Yeah,
even I've
but
said it myself. Hey, that's bad luck. No, that's you not taking under consideration every variable that might happen.
there is. Yeah.
Playing around the Ash is good. If you get the kill on the Ash, it's good. It's going to trigger the rest.
Yeah.
But the Mercy is basically there for that. So
Yeah. Exactly.
is your team going to capitalize? Well, not that much. But if you really deny the flankers, you're denying two people at the same time.
Yeah.
Because
Or even 3.
or even three. Like, the Tracer
Yeah.
cannot follow. The Tracer cannot move forward, and the Sombra cannot move forward because that Sombra needs to respect the fact that you are unknown in the map.
Mm-hmm.
And in a Sombra versus Sombra scenario, that's really bad because you are the defender. You are the one in control of the point. You are the one that
Right.
that can keep unknown forever if you want. They are
Right. Okay. I
right?
see.
They are the attackers. They are the one to initiate a move. And if they are going to initiate a move in a 5v6 or a 5v5 scenario against bunker, that's fine for you because then
Yeah.
that allows you to establish again a winning 1v1, which is the Tracer coming from this side.
Mm-hmm.
If the Tracer is not doing this, what is the Tracer going to do?
Nothing.
Then boom. That's the value of you playing here. You're denying the Tracer
Yeah.
and you're denying the Sombra. By doing nothing, you're winning a 2v1.
Sounds so weird.
It is, but
Yeah,
it's
but it's
a
true.
chess approach.
Yeah.
A lot
It's
of
also like the
a lot of Sombras will go and say, "Hey, I'm going to farm the shit out of that Ash," and eventually
Yeah.
they're going to die,
yeah.
right? Or the team is going to die because the Tracer is coming from and the Sombra is coming from behind,
Yeah, and the Ash isn't really doing anything. So
and
like
the
you're not
Ash is
getting
just
any
shooting a shield.
value. Yeah.
I mean, the Ash took 130 to get a Bob. 130. We are speaking about a team that has no diva against a Dynamite.
Yeah.
130 is
Yeah.
a lot of time.
Yeah, that's way too much.
So for you, for your team, this situation is insanely good because you can sit here and wait 4 minutes. Even if you don't get EMP again, that's not a problem. Your EMP is worthless. What are you
Yeah.
going to hit with the EMP, right?
Only Hammond or
Only
maybe
Hammond.
Farah. That's it.
Even if you have Farah in the air, right? Your team needs to follow. Like again, an EMP is not a deadly tool. It's an enabler.
Yeah.
That's-
See, that's one thing that I find so hard is like the right time to EMP, etc. It's insane how much like how quote unquote useless the EMP is
I mean,
when
it's,
the
it's
team
not
can't.
useless, but
do
one. What's the best use for EMP here? Can you tell me?
The best use is just the Hammond, I think.
Kinda
Like,
close.
just
It's
to-
close. It's close. But try to go a bit deeper.
Is it like the mines from Hammond?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You hold on your EMP till they mine. You tell your
And
team,
then
hey,
just-
if they mine, I'm going to EMP. Don't worry. And you basically disable all the mines. You destroy them, and you keep the position.
Yeah.
And
Oh wait, actually, damn! I could have waited for because they only want to get the EMP barrage and mines, So I could basically just almost stay up there and wait for the barrage and mines and then EMP.
You basically disable everything, yeah.
Yeah, then I ruined their setup. Okay, yeah. See, that puts things into order. Okay, right. So their Sombra just wants the EMP to enable barrage and mines, or most importantly, barrage.
But
If I deny the barrage,
that Sombra is only going to have one EMP. If you play
Yeah.
like that, you play like around here. This Sombra is going to only have one EMP. So there
Okay.
is a limited amount of damage she can do.
so okay, so the correct play is finding their like win condition, which is the EMP, obviously, and then just completely deny the Sombra to get progress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And while doing that, you also should shut down the tracer.
Yeah. 2 in 1.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting this.
Nice translocator.
Far as we're on the right, right?
Yeah, she's low.
But you can see that the Sombra is always
Yeah,
going for the same
yeah,
play.
yeah.
Sombra is
Yeah,
always
yeah.
trying to do the
Against
same
some
thing.
words, so it's fine. So now we need to
Oh,
play.
that's three
Oh, I fucked up.
Come back.
And you're so
Nice
close
picks.
of dying every single time. Like
We shouldn't
Yeah.
it might look like hey you are 100.
Now, friends, we
But
should
this is
play
it, you know?
So,
I have EMP, I got EMP early. Okay, listen.
pulling this.
You want to EMP early.
Yeah. I want to be proactive.
Pharaoh is on the right side at the mega. With Mercy.
That's a really bad translocator.
What's the plan?
I know.
I got an EMP
We're
early.
gonna
Oof.
EMP barrage right now.
I'm gonna
What is
keep
our-
away. I'm
Okay.
gonna
Okay.
hook
Nice pick.
I'm gonna try to hook the Pharaoh, okay? I'm gonna stay away from the EMP if I can. Sombra is right side right now.
Sombra in us.
They don't have
This is so risky.
They don't have
There you go.
They have no pulls. Keep me healing. I'm on.
That's a good EMP.
Fire inside,
Thank
kill.
you.
Nice turn.
Basically, you achieve the same thing.
I did it.
You achieve the same thing, but
Yeah.
the main problem is that
I think I could have gotten punished way more than I did.
yes,
Yeah.
and your team, so you and your team,
Yeah.
because right now you're playing a
progressing.
5 versus 1, and you don't really need to, you know.
Nice for us.
Yeah.
Keep on point. I have immortality. Tracer one on point.
Hyman one as well.
How many targets am I picking?
Hands up.
Like also,
Sing. Fire
I
inside,
want to
kill.
say I want to watch this again.
They don't have pull up. They don't have pull up. It's okay.
They have no pulls.
How?
Keep me healing. I'm under.
Pharaoh inside.
Fire inside, kill. Nice turn.
What are you looking for?
How
Am I
How
alive?
does your team die?
Oh.
Because the EMP is good.
I'm under.
They are on bulk, but the fire goes inside. Nobody played around the EMP. Nobody in your team played around the EMP. One
Yeah.
of the things that you don't know, and that this is a problem of playing this style. Obviously, your team should know. It's not that big of a deal, but you don't know
Wait,
the
my
enemy.
team.
The enemy
my
EMP.
team. Oh yeah.
You don't know an enemy charge on the EMP because
Yeah.
you're not paying attention to the Sombra, which means that if since you are playing basically to trade, this is what I don't like from defenders, right?
Mhm.
Instead of playing passive and defend your team from the EMP and from the Sombra, you are playing aggro and you're trading EMPs.
Yeah.
Who is going to get the most value out of a trade in EMPs? The attacker, always.
Attackers. Yeah.
So that means that eventually your playstyle is going to make your team lose.
Yeah.
Because again, their EMP's value is going to be massive. Your EMP's value, even though the EMP is the best one that you can pull off,
Yeah.
it's not as good.
Yeah. It's not like as good as their MP.
Exactly. So what you want to do is basically deny the Sombra all the time.
Yeah.
Fire inside, kill. Nice turn.
I'm clearing
They're resing. Hammond.
the rest have
Nice for us, bro. Keep on point. I have immortality.
Also,
Tracer
you
one, Tracer one.
lose the this one.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You lose the hack on this one. Like you spend so much time outside of this mini pack that you lost the control of it. Basically, and this health pack is key in order to control Cafe.
Yeah, but I hack it again now.
I know, but when the EMP
Oh, yeah.
happens, you don't have control of this,
Nice respawn.
which can basically give you sustain.
Keep on fighting. I have
Wait, what are you implying? That I should have like had control over it?
This health pack is something that you always should have control of,
Right.
always, because for the EMP that happens at the beginning,
On top?
right?
They don't have follow-up.
You don't have it. You don't have it anymore.
I have no pulls. Dropping.
Oh, yeah.
Healing.
You don't
Oh,
have
okay,
it
I
because
see what you
otherwise you will be able to see it through the right.
Yeah.
So this means that you are losing. Basically, this is 75 HP,
hmm
right? Every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You're losing this HP, this healing power inside Cafe, while the fire is, going inside.
While she's like popping damage in.
Exactly.
Alright, okay, I see.
I'm under.
Pharah inside.
Fire inside, kill him. Nice turn.
I'm clearing
They're
mine.
resing, they're resing. Hammond. Nice respawn. Keep on fighting. I have immortality.
Also, I mean, this is just as an anecdote, but the teams gameplay around EMP is pretty lackluster.
Their team?
No, yours, because
Yours, oh, yeah.
you can invest 2 ticks into regrouping on top instead of saying, hey, I need to contest point. There is no coordination on point contest, which leads to Pharah getting killed with Orisa, or to Orisa getting killed. Bastion is on top while Orisa is on the low ground, etc. There is no coordination there.
Yeah.
Basically, if you keep track of EMP and you know, hey, next fight is going to be EMP, I mean, it's 2 minutes and a half and you are not controlling, you're not playing passive, you need to have a play. Like, hey, they are going to EMP, what are we going to do? Basically, you die here, obviously because of the EMP, but you don't have you're not coming back.
We don't have it, like, yeah, like maybe
a
we
defensive
could.
measure. As a team, what are we going to do? What's the play? What's the defense?
Yeah.
Kiting maneuver, or,
Yeah.
Coming from the left. With the
Also realize how strong that mini pack is. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it
Not
is.
the upper.
You don't really need to do so. Just assume that you're dead and just charge as much EMP as possible here.
coming from the left. With the
Just play around this. You don't need to.
Yeah, I could have played around that
Upper.
as a potential thing.
We need to touch.
So here I want to swap to Widow.
Sure, I think.
That's
I,
fine.
I
Wait,
really,
I'm coming.
I
I'm coming.
really
We got
want to
this,
swap
we
to
got this,
Widow.
we got this.
I'm dead.
Touch it, Bobo.
But
Mike, can you
also the thing is, you're going to enter in a way more dynamic, and in a part of the map that is way more dynamic than the point. The point, when we're speaking about control points, everything is so static, right?
True.
Because the point is there, and you have what you
Nothing
have.
changes.
But
Yeah.
in the payload map, you have way more space to maneuver with Sombra. You have way more things. People are way more isolated. People are way more. Everything points towards Sombra being way better pick.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
The fact
See,
that-
yeah, that's what I was like fishing after, like, because I want to go Widow, right? Because I see the potential for Widow being good, and yeah, I just wanted to get like your touch on that. Like, why would one stay Sombra on second?
You can stay. You can switch to Widow, but the problem is there is going to be a Sombra and a Tracer on your ass.
Yeah.
Which is going to force you to play around the wrist shield a lot, right? Which means that if the Pharah is smart and transitions around moving through the ground, they are going to shut down pretty easily,
Yeah.
right? So the Sombra is really good with this bunker comp. It's really good because basically what we talk about in the first point, you deny a lot just by being there. By the threat of being there denies a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't respect it and they get punished. Sometimes they don't respect it and they don't get punished because obviously they take a bet. You are not everywhere.
Yeah.
But more often than not, you should be able to punish them. And in a movement in a map like this, if the Pharah is committing with whatever, right now is where you can go on the Ash. Right now is when you can be a pain in the ass to someone who's pushing the payload, for example. Hey, my team is getting dove, like whatever, but I'm stopping the payload, I'm stopping the objective, for example.
Right.
So they are going to win a fight or maybe lose a fight, but the objective is not moving at all.
Yeah. So they're not going to gain like too much out of it.
Exactly, and since this is way more dynamic, the enemy team, since they are based on independent heroes, it's going to be way more split between themselves.
Yeah.
So that's really good for you. It's going to be easier for them to establish crossfire, yes, but it's going to be easier for you to get picks because, again, they are way more
It's way more dynamic. Yeah.
Mortality
Touch.
point.
They fight time.
No, it's so fat.
I'm here.
Coming.
Nice.
Oh, now I'm
Oh
bleeding.
shit.
Now I'm bleeding.
I mean, this is somewhat of a joke.
Go,
We
it's
can
good.
go now.
Why?
So, like, this scrim in particular, we started out and everyone was like really happy and in a good mood.
I'm going
And
away.
then we played Paris and everyone was so mad.
Oh man. We
Oh,
have-
what the?
You couldn't see it when you moved up
Okay.
to spawn.
No.
I do a mistake.
The tracer rats in
Yeah,
I should have hit that.
You can kill him.
Unfortunate.
This guy.
just feeding.
Yeah, this is basically what I meant with the fire pick.
Can we get out?
Sorry,
Yep.
with the widow pick. It's
Yeah.
so easy for them to collapse on you.
Anyone else? Wait. I'll go die.
I'm just going to skip this part
fine,
as
right,
we talked.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for the third point of the point where I play Sombra because I accidentally made my main tank and my off tank super mad at me because they were like, okay, we swapped to goats here, and I said no, I'm staying Sombra.
But you can
And-
you can play Sombra goats.
Yeah, but I don't know. Everyone was like in a bad mood, and it came off in a way where I was like, I don't want to listen to you. I play Sombra. And I think that Diva,
Samur?
we stay Diva instead of Zarya as
Get
well.
out.
They're going goats.
Good.
See now.
Let's swap to go.
Yeah.
Let's swap to goats.
Killed by the dragon.
I'm staying somewhere here.
Coming right spawn.
Tara, can you? No, you have bomb.
Yeah, I've
Yeah, so we decided to not swap to Zarya because we almost have bomb.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is, right now you are entering into a point that this is where Sombra really shines.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So the thing here is in your mind you're basically the enabler, right? So you the first thing you want to do is to scout, right? Obviously, and to see, hey, where are they? Second
Yeah.
thing is to see, hey, what ultimate do we want to use? What's the plan, right? What's the planification here? And the third one is who or where is the hack going to land in order to enable this.
So I'm gonna
Thi-
hack the
thi-
Ryan. We're
this
gonna
is-
throw
this
in
is-
bomb.
This is called utility Sombra.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last time as well.
Exactly. Right now, your whole point is I'm going to stay hidden. I'm going to stay cloaked. We're going to engage with Diva Bomb, and I'm going to say if I need to hack the Reinhardt, I need to be in a position where I need to pull off the hack.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing.
Mhm.
And you can ask for your team to shoot, to show, to do whatever in order to draw the attention, but you need to pull this off.
Yeah.
Because there are two ways that you can play as a bit of a reminder from the other session, right? The first one is to charge the EMP. This is basically when you don't have anything to do. Like there is no
You just
utility, there is no ultimate, there is nothing to play. For example, first fights.
Yeah.
But when the second way comes when you have an ultimate to use, because you're basically the enabler of the team. So if you have
Yeah.
a Shatter, you hack the Rain. If you have a Diva Bomb, you hack the Rain. If you have the Graph, you have the Diva. If you have whatever, basically, right?
If we have Grav, we also hack the Zen maybe,
Or you can
the
hack
depending.
depending if
Yeah.
you have a Nana, for example, or not, right? If you have
Yeah.
Nana, you can hack the Zen. The Diva. Or if you have Zen, you hack the other Zen. And that's basically up to you, right?
Yeah.
And up to your decision making to do.
I can call out this.
But
I should be behind them here.
Sorry behind.
I mean, you should be calling the bomb here.
Yeah.
Like, this is basically you being a father for the team.
Yeah.
It's like literally, hey, press the Q, on top of the team, on top of the car in 3. Like you can. It's basically here in Spain, for example, we have an expression that basically is like for small children, right? And that says you give them all chewed up, which means that they don't need to. They only need to swallow, right?
Yeah.
The food. This is basically what you want to do as Sombra, because you can do it. You can say, hey,
Yeah.
the team is here.
Let's
They are
do
going
this.
to turn the fight. They are going to turn the corner now. So in 3 seconds, you are going to throw the bomb into the middle of the corner. Okay, copy, copy. And because in your head, you don't need even to tell them, hey, what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Right?
You just tell them what they're gonna do, and I'll do the rest.
Exactly. And I'm going to just pull off the hack. Right? And that's it. And that's
Yeah.
it. You cannot, because the moment this happens, you cannot, as a Sombra, you cannot be so slow that they engage on your team. Because then is when you're right now, who are you going to hack?
No one.
Even if you pull out a hack, the chances of them having used the cooldowns is pretty high. So your hack is going to do nothing.
Right. So like, do it before the fight.
Exactly. Like
Okay.
One of the reasons why playing aggressive against Sombra is so effective is because even if you hack someone, there is no cooldowns to use.
Yeah.
So the hack means nothing. The power of the
Okay,
hack
I
is
see.
basically denying cooldowns, but if they already use them, what's the point?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a
Right?
good illustration.
So if you play reactive with Sombra, your team is going to get pushed because they are in a 5v6 situation.
Yeah.
And the enemy team is going to use cooldowns in order to get a space. You need to play this
Right.
corner. Why do you
Yeah.
need to play this corner? Because you want 2 fights.
Sightlines.
No,
Sightlines,
because
okay. Yeah.
also because you want 2 fights. You want 2 fights in the point. You don't want to gamble one entire point to 1 fight.
Yeah.
With a tiny winning condition as I'm going to hack the Reinhardt as soon as he turns around for the because he can get bubbled, you know.
Yeah.
That means that you need to switch the target to hack in a second, a split second. So that's a really you know.
Yeah,
tiny
no,
window.
see, that makes that illustrates a lot as well. Like the whole do it, like give them a disadvantage before we take the fight.
Exactly, because if you hack someone, you raise the cooldowns, you uncloak yourself, and you effectively turn a 5v6, a 5v6 to a 6v5,
Yeah,
which is you uncloaked
exactly.
and the other guy is disabled. But if you are slow enough, then basically they effectively use the 6v5 to take a space, which is this one, which is
Yeah,
right now this is not looking really good. You are pressing
No.
Q and pressing S at the same time, which is a recipe for disaster, basically.
Ryan is low. I'm bomb in a sec.
so I really want this
Yeah,
hack on the
just
Ryan.
as I'm charging MP really fast.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I could-
like, your position is
Backing up.
Yeah, just play
Okay.
really.
where is your position coming from? Because you got spotted here.
Yeah, Diva punished me.
Yeah, I bomb, bro.
My thing is, why are you playing in front of them,
Okay, can we move up?
right? Why are you not playing
Yeah, I bomb, bro.
Behind?
exactly around this area? Around this
Ah,
area,
good question.
right?
I think I'm afraid of doing a mistake because I'm still trying Sombra out.
One of the things that you need to keep in mind is you might be invisible, but there is something that is a fact, and is in order to scout, you need to establish LOS,
Yeah,
which means that if you're effectively giving them info, there is a limited amount of places where you can be, and that allows the enemy team to scout basically, or to spy, using the TF2 term spy check.
right.
But the fact is, do you really need to have LOS in order to provide info right now?
Not really.
Why?
Because I can hear them.
You can hear them. Look at the HUD.
Yeah.
What's on the payload right now? There is a 4, right?
Yeah.
You know, 4
I
people
know
are on
there's
the
4
payload.
people on payload, yeah.
So you don't really need to show yourself, even if you're invisible. And if you're not showing yourself, you're not getting scouted.
Yeah.
Which means that you, for example, you can play behind this rock
Yeah.
and still be
And
effective.
I still have the same LOS basically as well.
Exactly. And then if the play is going to be a bomb, your rotation is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Obviously, the hack from the high ground is insanely good. Yes, but the
Yeah.
chances of
I
you
think
pulling
that's what
the
I'm tunnel visioning on. It's
the
the fact that
exactly
the
that
high ground.
the chances of the, I mean, if you let's say if you want to go for this,
Mm-hmm.
you can stay inside here.
Yeah.
Don't get killed by the dragon.
Nah, I'm
Uh,
staying somewhere here.
You go
Coming
inside, I
right,
think.
spawn dragon.
Tara, can you? No, you
Yeah.
have bomb.
You can stay inside here. But the problem is the staying behind the rock and behind them gives you a way better LOS with the rain, which is basically the target that you're going to target, or you're going to hack.
Yeah.
Right now you have no LOS. You still have the info, etc. But you cannot guarantee that the rain is on the card.
On the payload, yeah.
Which means that if you stay here, it's to play to pull up this play. You dip a bomb. You come from like as you basically get outside of the room. In the moment the diva is pressing Q.
Yeah, okay, I see.
So
Yeah.
it's not about, there is no reaction time. You need to know where the Reinhardt is in order to pull out the hack.
Yeah, but that information I could get from my team as well.
You can get that information from your team as well, yes. But the fact is, it's not the first time, you know, that they tell you something and it's not accurate enough.
Yeah.
Like, if you can do this if you trust your team enough. It's like giving you coordinates. Like, hey, this is the exact point the enemy Reinhardt is.
Yeah.
But the thing, also another thing is between the time that the information arrives to you and you start
Yeah,
moving,
he might have changed.
it
Yeah.
might change. So it's let's say like it's a 60% reliable
Yeah.
compared to the other one, which might be way more reliable, because even if you are not controlling direct LOS, if the Reinhardt is using mouse too, the shield is so big that hey, you can see what where the whereabouts of the Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Right, and also there is something really important, which is if you do this
Yeah, I have bomb ready.
this movement, right, and you uncloak here, this wall is going to stop 70% of the bullets that the enemy team is going
Yeah.
to shoot at you. But if you uncloak on the air, the hack is going to be easily cancelled.
Yeah.
Right. One of
It's
the
way easier to spot me as well.
Exactly. One of the things that you need to get your hands on is the position of the hack needs to include a cover that is going to prevent the enemy team from stopping your hack.
Yeah.
And if you're able to do that, then is when your hack is going to get through. Then is when your play is going to when your play is going to happen.
Yeah.
If you get a pick here, this is the problem. If this is the key thing. If you get a pick here with the bomb and you're able to regain control of the map, in that fight you might be super close to EMP, which means that in the next fight you can get EMP and again start the snowball against them.
Yeah.
Right.
But so okay, so like regarding the whole like aggressive and reactive Sombra play, right? So I think I can't remember exactly, but I think we stop the payload, and that's when I want to play really, really aggressive, and I want to like stay basically in their spawn. But since like they are pushing, I'm like tunnel visioning on being defensive as well. Because I, like you said, I could technically be like where the moon rock is, where Sari is walking right now. Is that like, how can I easily understand when I need to be proactive and reactive? Maybe it just comes down to the composition they're doing, like because they are goats.
In a goats versus goats situation, the answer is when you see an EMP that, when you see an ultimate that you can combo with.
Okay.
Like usually, first fights, everybody's empty. You can play to charge EMP. Why? Because your charge ratio is super high.
Yeah.
You can charge the EMP super fast, especially against those insane amount of tanks.
Yeah.
But the moment one fight happens and you have one tick, whenever you tap and you say, "Hey, do we have an ultimate that we want to use offensively?" Yes. Okay, I'm going to enable you. And then you switch from reactive to proactive.
Yeah.
Why? Because you have the map control, you have the position, you have everything on your plate to make the play happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It only goes down to hey, the timing. The timing is good, the
Yeah.
position is good, but it's not about anything else. Right? Graviton, etc., shutter, It's all, and then you got the EMP, and you can make your play on your own, right? And you keep cycling, you keep cycling, you keep cycling.
Yeah.
But it's about first fight, or do we have an ultimate? And usually, since this is third point, you are going to have an ultimate, unless it's a fresh start, right? A complete switch, which means that you might not have an ultimate, which means that, hey, you need to invest. And this is why switching to Widow is also really bad, because you lost a point, and now you are going into the third point with no ult charge.
Yeah, I had 50 when I even had like 65, I think, when I swapped to Widow.
Which means that right now you're going to invest the whole length of the point in order to get one EMP.
Yeah, I would have had EMP on. We basically gave up entire second point as well.
Which means that if it's going to be your EMP, if you happen to get a good EMP at the end of the point, you are going to win it. But you are going to basically invest the whole point here in order to get it.
Yeah.
Ryan on the left.
I can call out.
And here you're basically like a bee. You know, you're basically annoying, but it's not something that is really deadly. You know.
Yeah.
You're playing like a Soldier 76, etc.
Yeah.
Having bomb, just go for the play. But again, you need to tell your team. You need to. It's like parenting, you know. You need to say, do this and do it now, and also be ready to say, hey, if this doesn't work, my call, my responsibility, right? But this needs to be, hey, you having like confidence on what you're going to pull off, because it makes sense.
I think in this scenario, like I said earlier, it's still like testing the waters with Sombra in the team, just in general. I think. My thought process is I want to get my EMP. I know I can get it really fast, and then do EMP bomb and just like, but then so like I'm basically gambling on time. Like I'm gonna get the EMP fast enough for us to get the EMP bomb off. That's my thought process.
Very very risky, because right now, like you are.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like at the time, but
it's extremely risky. It's extremely risky, and you're playing in front of them, which means that the surprise factor is not there anymore.
I could have called the bomb, go for the bomb earlier.
D.Va on point.
Yeah, definitely you could have won the fight with the bomb and a hack, and then have EMP to combo. And basically, if you switch to Zarya, for example, have 50% on the next on the Graviton, you know. Unless you don't want to switch, of course.
I want to play Sombra. Sombra fun.
No. I mean the other guy, the D.Va player switches to Zarya.
I think he. I can't remember if he swaps or not.
This is a mistake, because I mean a tiny mistake. You are not tabbing. You are not gathering info right now. Do you have an ultimate you want to use?
I have no clue.
Exactly. Obviously, I mean, it's
nice. That's a good one. No, that's a good one.
It's not bad, because you are getting a lot of EMP charge. But if you have Shatter, for example, it's way more valuable that, hey, you've enabled the Shatter, and then this whole ult charge that you are risking your life to get off, it's going to come from farming the Shatter.
Yeah, if we had Shatter, I could be rather getting a position to then get the Shatter off, and I'd get MP.
For this position, or if you don't want to, obviously, repeating positions is going to alert them, right? And they're going to establish a pattern. But I don't know, just
I haven't stayed there yet, so
I mean, yeah. Just in case, pretending that in the last fight you did the same approach, you know, what we talk about. I don't know, standing here. Like there are plenty of things that you can do, like even stand here.
Yeah.
Like you are the hitbox of Sombra is super small, that you can basically crouch wherever. Right, and then basically it's a side hack is going to boom. Enable a lot.
Yeah.
Reinhardt.
And you're even hacking the Reinhardt from in front, you know. So.
And it works. Sadly, it shouldn't work.
Reinhardt again. No.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, I really wanted that.
I mean, this is not a bad approach. Like you try holding left, but then again, I'm a super fan of the surprise factor, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, ping real soon. Get ready.
You need to ask for the armor pack here. There we go.
3, 2, 1.
Hack that. This is the
It's
problem.
way too early. Ah, no, Dark, no.
I mean, you know,
it hurts.
You know, it's. I mean,
It hurts. Fuck.
Just put yourself in Sen's shoes. It's so easy for him to predict this. Like
Yeah.
the power of EMP is say, hey, they need to go from A to B, which is the payload,
Yeah.
right? If you EMP here, the transition power or the transition move is already done.
Yeah.
So
I could have called it to my team that we just take the fight early. Also.
yeah, but since you are basically farming, right?
Yeah.
You need to recall, or yeah, you know, and try to. The thing here is, it's way better for you to try to create something, and when you have EMP,
Yeah.
the EMP play needs to be done in the transition,
Way before. Yeah.
which means that the closer they are to B, the easier for the Zen / Lucio is going to be to hide.
Yeah.
But if you EMP here, super early,
They have to
where
stay
they need to
together.
be all together in order to transition
Yeah.
together, because again, you are Sombra and 2 they are goats, right? They cannot split the Zen.
Mm.
Then
Also, I'm not comboing the ult or letting anyone know, I think.
I mean, you tell I'm EMPing really soon, but the fact here is still, if you have Shatter, it can work. But there is
Yeah.
no play setup. There is no team play.
Coordination. Yeah.
Exactly. There is no coordination. There is no anything. There is you basically tunnel visioning super hard on getting the EMP instead of saying, hey,
Mhm.
I can
Mhm.
invest 2 fights and playing this way more smart. Right? That's
Yeah.
the deal.
3, 2, 1.
I'm not sure if we even win this fight. I don't think we do.
I mean, if
Yeah, there's
if,
this
if your team
dance
has
here.
Shatter, that's the Shatter, that's the rally. Bomb again.
Good one, good one.
I wanted to hack this area because of grab,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
couldn't grab.
I'm on right.
I pinned it, right?
Zarya is behind us, boys.
So good.
Right next. Never mind.
No.
Okay, just die on
Unfortunate.
point. They used everything.
Are you staying Sombra here or not?
I'm staying.
Okay, I'm stopping them.
Now he's swapping to Zarya.
Right side. We have enough time, just group up.
If that diva goes for you when you are discorded, you are dead, right?
Yeah.
No,
I think
the translocator was not in position.
Run.
Right?
Ryan's done.
Again, exact same thing. You are not tapping. You are not establishing anything. You're getting super greedy in order to get oh, you are.
EMP.
You don't trust the thermal pack here.
no.
You're super greedy on getting the EMP fast.
Yeah, I just want the EMP. I'm so tunnel visioned on like the whole fact that EMP is everything.
This is basically the whole problem, or a problem rather, that a lot of people have. Is I need to build the EMP so I play. This happens a lot, for example, with Genji players. A
Right.
lot of videos, for example, in YouTube, etc., they say, hey, you need to build the blade, you need to build the blade, right? And what do? They are playing Genji, which is an assassin and a flanker.
Yeah.
They are playing it like a Soldier 76 and just
Yeah.
shooting, right, and trying to build the blade. What
Yeah.
people don't realize is if you use your utility and if you use your character correctly in order to increase the chances of winning a fight, what is going to give you massive ult charge is not the fact that you are farming it. It's the fact that you are going to win a fight and there is a cleanup that is going to happen that is going to allow you to have this massive ult charge for free.
Yeah, exactly.
It's way better for you to get a clutch hack and enable a play and then have 60, 70, 80 or an entire EMP of ult charge
Yeah,
because you are
exactly.
farming the team that is falling down or falling
Yeah.
back. But getting out of your boundaries, getting out of your responsibility and say, hey, I'm going to get out of it, but I'm going to, in order to get the EMP. That's not worth. That's not worth because
Yeah.
that's not how this character is supposed to be played.
Yeah. This character is way more like advanced than I ever thought.
This is one of
At
the
least in
reasons.
team play.
One of the reasons why Sombra's win ratio in solo queue is so low, even though bunker is a thing. Because it
Yeah,
requires,
see that caught me off guard as well.
it requires so much team coordination that it's insane. I mean,
Yeah.
the character himself or herself, it's broken. It's really broken. But
Yeah.
the problem is everything she does is for the best of the team. if nobody's there to capitalize on, it's extremely hard for her to have this massive impact.
Yeah. But you see, that's what I noticed. I was like, how am I not getting any value when I felt like I was doing a lot? Like, that's the same thing in like comp. Playing Sombra in comp is
I mean,
trash.
for example, the same thing that you can do here, which is tab, say, hey, what ult, and then tell the team, hey, we are going to play around this. If you're playing in comp, you need to do it, and then you need to trust the guy. Even you can tell him in voice, but trust the guy to use to press Q. You can tab and say, hey, they have trance, and we have blade. I'm going to hack the Sen. You hack the Sen and say, hey, this guy is hacked, but the Genji might be out of cooldowns, right? In the other point, dead. I don't know.
Yeah,
Multiple
exactly.
things. There is no team setup in order to make a play. The important thing about the most broken thing about Sombra is this lack of vision that you have on one member of the team, and that member can basically enable a winning move by coming from nowhere.
Yeah.
And you can
By
basically
just pressing right click.
The only thing that you can do is obviously Sombra is still Sombra goats is still a downgrade coming from normal goats.
Yeah.
But at least in 3 of out of 4 game modes, we can speak about this the other day. But the thing here is, once Sombra, it's easy, quote me easy, right? Quote easy, but it's relatively easy to avoid Sombra.
Yeah.
Or not that hard to avoid Sombra in goats, just by pressing your advantage. But once Sombra sets the play, once Sombra sets the tempo, it's extremely hard to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Like, you can ignore her as much as you want until she's like the core like reason for the winning condition.
The thing that you want to do against Sombra is basically force her to use the EMP in order to recontest.
Yeah.
But once Sombra is in the middle of the cycle, that you shatter, then you graph, then you EMP, and both shatter and graph gets farmed, then that's forever. You are staying there forever.
Yeah.
Because they can using the comparison, right? They need to go from A to B, and Sombra can literally engage with a winning move at any given point on this rotation.
Yeah.
And you need to do that rotation because the objective is there. You need to go for it. That's what makes the character extremely broken.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's 95% of the strength of Sombra is learning how to communicate with the team.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the harder things.
How to take responsibility for your moves, but also it's needed. Like, because for me, if I'm a Zarya player and you tell me, hey, I'm going to hack this in 3 seconds, you can graph.
Yeah.
The only thing I need to do is, hey, when I get the input, I go for the graph.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a bit harder, but that's an over exaggeration.
Yeah.
And you can do like setups with shatter sets. You can basically enable a wheel that stays forever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, mate.
Thank you so much.
No problem. A pleasure as always. I'm going to stop the recording.